4 million years ago. During this time, rivers, lakes, and floodplains covered the land. Dinosaurs also lived in this lush landscape, including a species of long-necked dinosaur, or sauropod, called Abitosaurus mackintoshi. And has bright bands of red and purple. It is famous for its density of dinosaur fossils from the Jurassic period, approximately 150 million years ago. Excavations of fossils began here in 1909 after paleontologist Earl Douglas discovered 8 exposed tailbones of a large sauropod dinosaur. Tons of fossils were removed from the quarry through various excavations, and today, over 1,500 bones remain in place in the quarry wall. In fact, Earl Douglas was the first to suggest preserving some of the fossils in place as an educational and scientific exhibit. Study of the bones and the surrounding rock continues to provide new details of the environment where these dinosaurs lived and how they died. You can help protect these resources for future generations by leaving all rocks and fossils where you find them. Please remain seated until the shuttle comes to a complete stop. You can start your visit to the quarry exhibit hall by walking up the ramp and entering the second floor doors. Food, drinks other than water, smoking, and pets are not allowed inside. Rangers are available to answer any questions you may have, and ranger programs are scheduled throughout the day. Have a safe and enjoyable visit to Dinosaur National Monument.
Diplodocus, Allosaurus, Camarasaurus.
Diplodocus bone.
I can't see
the
anything.
bones? That I think one of the rangers, she is explaining something. Come here.
The Camarasaurus skeleton. That's a stegosaur plate right there. Another stegosaur plate. Wow. Very good. So, okay, plates. Yes.
To the left is another,
Yes.
and the left to another.
Oh, wow.
Let's see. There's one up there that we can't see because of the angle.
Yeah, I see the side of it.
Okay. And then many of the bones are also
Right.
Stegosaurus bones.
Got a tail section up here, vertebrae.
Yeah, this is the Allosaurus lower leg,
Uh-huh.
ankle, and then the toe bones. And there's one little toe bone bent underneath all the rest.
Ouch.
That's Allosaurus, the little.
Okay, and so the excavation,
The excavations here began in the early 60s and they continued into the very early 90s. Dental picks, jackhammers, hand chisels, no dynamite, uncovering all the bones to make them show up to the degree we see now.
oh, okay, great. Yeah, I remember seeing these many, many years ago, more than I care to admit. And the Stegosaurus plates, and it really impressed me back then, as did the whole exhibit. So it's so good to know they revealed so much more of it, and yet didn't remove too much of it during that time. It was more for purposes of exposing all the bones.
Exactly.
And so what I'm seeing now is such an improved exhibit over that, not only a new building,
Yeah.
with wonderful air conditioning, I might add, which is very helpful here in the summer, but also a lot more of the bones revealed. And it's just amazing here, and especially the Stegosaurus part here. Just absolutely incredible.
This Allosaurus Fragilis skull was found right above the parking lot, excavated from the rock in 1924 by the University of Utah, along with Earl Douglas. And it sat in a basement until many, many decades later. Once it was decided to get it back on exhibit here at Dinosaur National Monument, it took about 3 years. Mr. Wilkins, Tobe Wilkins, every day, picking a few more grains of sand away to reveal what was inside.
Wow, very nicely done too. Look at that. Look at all these spaces in it for muscle attachment, really at the back of the upper portion of the skull there and everything. Give really
air
powerful
sac
bite and everything. Yes, yeah, just incredible here. And so this preceded Tyrannosaurus by about 70 million years. It's from the Jurassic.
Yes.
And Tyrannosaurus being late Cretaceous there and everything. Can you give us a little bit of a comparison there, please, between these two beasts?
Allosaurus is much smaller and older,
About 30 feet long they got to?
only about 30 feet long compared to T-Rex, which is twice that size almost,
Wow.
45, 50 feet long. Crushing jaws, crushing bone and everything, so chomp, swallow, whereas Allosaurus's muscle attachments on the back of the skull show that this is more of an animal who chomped down on a carcass and pulled to the side, pulling meat off like a scavenger, like you see vultures do on the side of the highway.
Wow. Maybe a bit more lightly built, maybe a little bit more agile?
Possibly.
Possibly.
Just by being smaller, yeah.
And can we speak about the relative size of the arms on the Allosaurus here versus the Tyrannosaurus? That being a rather famous issue here. We look at this complete skeleton reproduction.
These arms are about the same size as those found on the T-Rex. These have more fingers. Allosaurus has 3 fingers, T-Rex has 2. And that's a really good way for most people to tell the difference.
And yet relative to the body size, the Allosaurus arms are much longer.
They are relative.
Yeah.
These are nice grasping claws.
Yes.
And you'll notice the muscle attachments on the back of that humerus give the indication that those muscles are good at snapping a carcass, like holding a carcass.
Uh-huh.
And that might be a somewhat familiar motion.
Uh-huh. Yes, I got you.
This is that family. This
Oh
is the
yeah,
bird
the
family.
theropod dinosaurs from which the birds are a member of.
Yep.
They're descendants of that. Wow. Oh, very interesting. Another thing too, with the cervical vertebrae here, we see that they're kind of almost into that S shape that we also see in the Tyrannosaurus here. And can you speak on that?
I cannot.
I
I know
from what
very
I-
little about those.
From what I've heard, it's to pull this skull, the heavy weight of the skull, more towards the center of gravity of the body. to have it shaped like that so that it doesn't topple over. If it were sticking straight out,
Right.
there would be too much weight too far ahead, you know. And
Yep. That makes a
so
lot of
very,
sense.
yeah. Anyway, that's what I had read. I wasn't sure if that was still, that explanation was still in vogue.
It might be.
These things
I just
change a
haven't-
lot.
I haven't
Yeah.
read they look very delicate, but there's a lot going on there that has to do with muscle attachments also, but also nerves.
Wow.
Tremendous nerves. Gives it a very agile neck. Again, instead of a lean down, chomp and swallow, it's more flexibility from side to side.
Wow. Been informed on these things by Dr. Aaron Cahill, is it? No, it's just
Plain old Aaron Cahill.
Plain old Aaron Cahill here. And thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And you'll be famous now on YouTube, right?
Okay, oh yeah.
You'll be. I'll be only the millionth person to put a YouTube video up of this. And this shows the most complete Stegosaurus juvenile skeleton that has ever been found.
Allosaurus.
So we're going to the Stump Formation to see marine fossils. Right there,
Yeah, I think so.
it's all the marine fossils.
Dinosaur fossils. Numerous dinosaur bone fragments and a few larger bones are still embedded in the rock. White arrows mark the larger fossils.
Fragment of bone. We're looking for fragments of dinosaur bones here. This bone right here, yeah. What's that?
It's almost an eye level.
Man, it's not a trip to the dinosaurs unless you get some refrigerator magnets to go with it to prove that you were there.